I really don't even know where to begin. Like, so much anxiety right now that I'm like having a hard time like processing. But just for like context purposes, yesterday was Halloween. We went to Patrick's mom's house, had a good time. She ended up catering a little bit of Cane's, and historically Cane's like doesn't sit well with me. I've just tried to not eat a lot of fried foods recently, and so anytime specifically I, for whatever reason, eat Cane's, I get super sick. So I ate Cane's even knowing that yesterday, and we got home, I felt completely fine. And then during the middle of the night, I started feeling these like massive pains. It hurt so bad. I was like just on the toilet. It was pretty bad, pretty excruciating, and I ended up taking Benadryl. It helped me fall asleep, and that was that. I still wasn't feeling right when I woke up, and just like my spirit told me, like, take a pregnancy test. I have been bleeding for 7 days. Patrick and I did try to conceive during this cycle, and my ovulation was successful. I do track my hormone levels. Kept tracking. After ovulation, my progesterone lowered, and I was super upset because I prayed really hard about conceiving. I didn't think it happened. I've been bleeding now for 7 days, and they're not like spotting. It's like I'm bleeding. I have to wear a tampon, and I have for the past 7 days. And this morning when I woke up, I was like, I still don't feel right. So I took a pregnancy test, and it's positive. It was immediately positive. And it was like one of the cheap ones. And Patrick is in the other room. I still haven't told him. I was just like, maybe this is a fluke. So I did another one, and it is immediately positive again. I'm at Walmart now. I want to get, for whatever reason, I don't even know why I'm doing this, but I want to get an actual like clear blue test. And I'm really concerned that I've had a miscarriage because of the heaviness of the bleeding. And I've never experienced anything like this, very fortunately, but I'm a little in shock. So I'm gonna go inside and purchase a few tests and see if they give me a different reading. And maybe there's just like a mistake. This is my period, I'm not pregnant, and it was just, maybe it's just, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm hoping for. So it has been a few days since that last clip that I showed you guys. Did end up going into Walmart. I picked up a few pregnancy tests, and I actually ended up running into a older man from my church who I have done some church volunteering work with, and I saw him. I've never seen him out in public other than like church. Was standing in line, and I had the pregnancy test in my hand, and I went up to him and I just asked him if I could sit down and talk to him. This is like a 85-year-old man that he's just always been super kind. I was at the brink of like really not being able to handle myself, and I sat down with him, and We talked about some of his health concerns first, but I know he could see, like, I was just in shambles. I cried. I wept to this man that didn't know me like that. We just volunteer. And he was so, so kind. He sat down and he prayed with me, and he acknowledged, like, you don't know what's going on yet, but he encouraged me and said, you need to go home and you need to talk to your husband. So anxious. I was so, so anxious. It's like I wasn't even ready to like put the words out there really. And even when I went to check out with the pregnancy tests, I went to like go to the bathroom just to like take another one inside Walmart. I wanted to just like take another before going home. And right when I got up to the bathroom, the cleaning cart was blocking the woman's entrance into the bathroom. And I said, hello, hello. Obviously, I'm still weeping. And they didn't respond. They were cleaning the bathroom. And I just knew, like, that was Jesus saying, like, you need to go home right now. You need to tell Patrick, like, what's going on. So I went home and I sat Patrick down. I was a mess. He had known that I had been bleeding pretty heavily as well for like 7 days prior. And I told him that I believed that I had miscarried. He dropped everything, every single thing. He took care of me because at that point, like, I don't know, the way that I work, I can like hold it in pretty well, but like especially with him, he's my safe place. And just like communicating to him in words that like I think this is really happening, it just like broke me down. And so he took care of everything. He got his mom to come over to watch our 2 babies, and he took me to the hospital like an hour later. So we got to the hospital, we waited and waited and waited. Oh my gosh, for the amount of money that we spend for going, like, anytime you go to the hospital, the amount of wait time was, like, it was horrendous, and every moment just felt like an eternity as I'm, like, waiting to see if my baby is okay. They drew blood. They finally took me back, got an vaginal ultrasound, an ultrasound on top of my belly, and then I had an exam as well. And after even an even longer period of time with all the doctors going in and out, they pretty much concluded that it was more likely than not that I had miscarried, which just about, like, it just genuinely broke me. They said that it was unconclusive. There was no, I think it's like a gestational sac that they could see, but because of the bleeding and my HCG levels that came back from my blood work, it was just more likely than not that I had a miscarriage. My blood type is negative, and so I had to have, I think it's called like the RhoGAM shot. I get it every single time I have a baby. And I was at the point of like screaming to let me leave the hospital because I just wanted to go home. And they were like, no, you have to have this shot. So they made me wait. I got the shot. The doctor came and talked to me and said that he was sorry and that he couldn't conclusively state that I had a miscarriage, but was confident that I needed to come back in 48 hours. HCG levels should double every, I believe, 48 hours. So if they can confirm that my levels were, you know, double than what they were days prior, then that would be sufficient enough proof to say that the baby's okay. There is still a pregnancy that is viable. But if my numbers lower, then that would confirm that I had a miscarriage. So that is where we're at today. It is Monday. All of that happened on Friday. He told me to come back to the ER on Sunday, but just the ER is so expensive. And he told me I could follow up with my OB on Monday, and that's today. So I called this morning, I made an appointment, and I am going in just a few minutes to get more blood work done, and I'm unsure whether or not they will be able to provide me with those levels or results today, or if it's going to be a few more days. But it's been like a terribly emotional weekend, so I'm just kind of dreading this appointment, but I just want to know, and then I want to heal or just be able to work through any of the pain that I feel. And I will update you guys when I get the results from that. It has now been about 4 months since the last clip that you guys saw. Honestly, my head was just spinning during that period of time that I couldn't even function around the topic of this baby. It was just like so overwhelming to me, waiting for the results. The next few days were really difficult. They didn't give me the results immediately when I was in the office, so it took, I think, maybe 2 days for the results to get back to me, and my HCG actually had risen, and so that was a really, really great sign that a viable pregnancy was continuing. And so honestly, the relief was just unimaginable. I've never, very, very fortunately, had to experience anything like this. I've had bleeding in my past pregnancies, but nothing like what I've experienced with this pregnancy. So it was definitely really jarring, and I was very, very concerned and anxious. But every month since then, I've had appointments like very regularly to kind of check up on the baby, make sure the baby's okay, and we've passed every test with flying colors. My OB is very hopeful that everything looks good and checks out, and so I'm so thankful. I don't even know the words. The period of time that I had to wait, those few days, I did nothing but pray. I was praying consistently. It was a lot. It was a lot to bear. And okay, hold on. It's okay. You hear any little babies running around? They are definitely running around. I wanted to try to film while they were both napping, and the overlap just didn't happen today. So it was just one of those days. But I know so many other women have such terrible experiences, especially with bleeding like this, and so my heart goes out to each and every one of you that really have had miscarriages or anything along that lines. It is honestly like I was so scared that I didn't know how to breathe. All I had to lean on was God, that this baby was going to be okay, and baby is seemingly doing great, and I'm so thankful. While I was in the hospital getting all those tests done, simultaneously was just going through so much in that period of time in my life. And I think that I kind of explained a little bit more in one of my other videos. Let me tell you, 2025 was not for the faint of hearted. I'm just thankful to be sitting here in 2026. We have our anatomy scan in a few weeks, maybe 3 more weeks. All that to say, we have a very, very healthy baby. We do know the gender. I did get, I think it's like the genetic testing done. Harvey! is very, very surprising to me, and I did film that as well, so I'll include that in another video. But this was definitely the most vulnerable I've ever chose to be on camera, and if you've ever gone through anything like this, let me know. Harvey is choosing to play with this little saran wrap that I have. Don't mind him, but he asked the doctor like why I had such heavy bleeding in such an early pregnancy, and they basically said that I had a gash in my cervix, and that was the source of the bleeding. They monitored me very closely just to make sure that that heals over well and that it doesn't affect the embryo. It has been a wild ride, honestly. This baby has given me a lot of grief, but I'm so thankful. My heart goes out to everyone that is just going through it right now. I definitely understand, and I'm right there with you, but just keep praying. I will 100% be praying for you, and I am very excited now to announce that I am pregnant in real time. I know that in my Christmas vlog, I had expressed that we were pregnant, but now I can talk about it because I've been having every symptom under the sun, and definitely growing much faster than I did with the first two babies, probably as to be expected. I'm trying to be on my gym grind, but I've definitely been sick a lot, so that is what it is. I'm just happy I have a healthy baby. Patrick is super thrilled. I think that's all I have to update you guys on now. Trying to film with kids is just like, oh my gosh, they want to be the center. I know, I see you. If you want to follow me on my third pregnancy journey, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and we will see you in the next one. Bye, guys. You're nuts, I know! Get out of here.